Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a long time, and then I'm just back. Let's do some LeetCode problems. I'll start making videos again, maybe. But yeah. So LeetCode, easy problem, and then maybe I'll do like other videos on like lessons and stuff if possible. Anyway, LeetCode, yeah. So this is question number 28. I've already done a video on this, but someone pointed out that my audio was kind of clunky and it didn't sound right, so I'm gonna have to redo this and just post it out again, publish the video. Okay, so number 28, find the index of the first occurrence in a string. Once again, I'm gonna read out the prompt, explain a little bit, write out the code, explain the code a little bit, show example, and then finish it off with time and space complexity. Okay, so given two strings, needle and haystack, return the index of first occurrence of needle in haystack, or -1 if needle is not part of haystack. Now, if we look at example 1, we have the input where haystack is sad but sad, and then the needle has the string of just sad. Now, the output is 0 because sad is occurred twice, index 0 and 6. However, all we need is just the first occurrence, which is at index 0. So we return 0. And then for example 2, our haystack has LeetCode, and the needle is that we're looking for is LeetCode. Now that prints out 0 because even though the leet is there, the O after the T is not there. So technically LeetCode did not occur in LeetCode, so we have to return -1. Okay? So this is basically asking you to just recreate something like this. Haystack index of needle, like that, right? But for LeetCode, you kind of have to write the logic out yourself. So I'm just gonna write out the code. It's very simple. So let me just quickly do that. Let's have integer n, and that's gonna be the haystack length. Oops. And then integer m, also that's gonna be the needle's length, like that. Now for integer I equals 0. And then I is less than or equal to n minus m, I plus plus. And then we're going to have integer j, and that's going to be 0. Now, while j is less than m and haystack char at I plus j equals to needle. And the same thing, but just j this time for needle. And then now we're going to do I plus j plus plus, not I plus plus, j plus plus. Now, if j is equal to m, then we're going to return the I. Now, this return of I will basically be the starting point of where we found the where we find the needle. Now, if not, we're just going to return -1. Okay, so now that I'm done with the code, I'll just quickly explain it. So what we have here, this is just the function that takes into two strings, so haystack and needle. The bigger string is the haystack, that is the one we are searching inside, and then for the needle, it's the smaller string that we are trying to find. Okay, it returns an integer, and that integer is going to be at the starting index of the needle, or -1 if we couldn't find it. Here what we have is the length of both strings, so this is where we store it. So right here, for example, a haystack sad but sad would be a string, it would be a length of 9, and then the needle would be 3. Now for here, the for loop, this right here, this loop chooses every possible starting string, or every possible starting index where needle could begin. And for this part, why is it I less than or equal to n minus m? Well, this is because if needle has this length of m, right, then there must be enough characters left in the haystack. Okay, again, if I use this as an example, sad but sad and sad, where n is 9 and then the m is 3, when 9 minus 3 equals 6, right? So our last possible starting index has to be 6, because if we start at 7, where it's just A and D, that's not enough length for us to search for the needle. Okay, so the last possible starting point will be here, if we are looking through. Now, integer j equals 0. This j is going to be used to compare characters inside the needle. and it's going to start at 0 for each new starting index of I. This right here, the while, this checks whether the characters match one by one. Okay, so that's just very simple. And then this down here, the if j is equal to m, that means we match the entire needle. So once we do that, we just return I, because the I is where the match started. And finally, return -1 if loop finishes, but we never found the needle, so we just return that. Now I'm gonna give like a quick example walkthrough. Let's do it right here actually. Now we're gonna have haystack, and that's gonna be equal. That's gonna be sad but sad. That's the string, and then the needle. Sad. So right here, what we have will be, let's just have the numbers in. These are the indexes. Once again, it starts at 0 and it ends at 8. Now, first things first, we go over here and into the for loop. So, right, oh, I actually forgot about this part. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now, yep. Okay, so now we have both the integer m and n. So I'm just gonna rewrite this like that. Oh, and now the numbers are cooked. But there we go. Okay, now we're gonna do the for loop. So we first start at I equals 0. Now we're gonna compare needle with which is sad, with the substring starting at index 0, right? So what we have right here will be for this part, since I is 0 and j is also 0, it's gonna be looking like this: 0 plus 0, which is 0, and then the j will also be 0. So that means that we're comparing the first character, which is S, and then the second character, which is also S, and it matches. So since it matches, then we're gonna increase the j by 1. Okay, and when that happens, we're gonna have here and here, like that. Now that means next thing is we're gonna check the next letter, which is 1, and again A matches, so j increases by another 1. So now it becomes 2 and 2, and now we're matching the third one, which is D, and again the D matches, so now the j gets another plus, right? So now j equals 3, and don't forget the m is also equal to 3. Okay, because again, like I said, we're going through this. Now the m is 3, j is 3, because the length is right here for the needle, and then now we've reached this. That's also why I didn't increase less than or equal to. I just have it as less than, because now this while loop is no longer true, so we have to exit this. Okay, so, and then again, if j is equal to 3, if j being 3 and m being 3 and they both match, so it means that the full needle was found, and we're gonna return I. And keep in mind, the I is still 0. Okay, so the final answer would just be 0. Now let's do another quick example, just to make sure it's fine. Just to make sure people actually understand this. We're gonna have it like this, 4 and minus, like that. Okay, so what we're trying to find is the LeetCode inside of the LeetCode. So starting at index 0, we have the LEETO, and this fails because of the very last one. So right here we have O, and then this has C, right? So then if it fails, then the loop will keep checking the next possible like starting position. But since LeetCode never appears, it's gonna return -1. Like that. Test it out just to make sure I don't have any coding errors. And we do have a coding error because I forgot to change this. There we go. Now it should be good. Yep, it's good. I'm gonna quickly submit it. and everything passed. Okay, cool. Now I'm just gonna write out the time and space complexity. So our time complexity, will be big O of n times n. Now the reason for that is because we have n being the length of the haystack and then n being the length of the needle. So for every possible starting index in haystack, we may have to compare up to n characters from needle. So this will be the worst case scenario where we have to compare everything, every possible character. So it will have to be n times n. Now the space complexity is different though. Space would just be big O of 1. Now, the reason for that is we are not trying to create any extra arrays or strings. We're only using like a few variables, right? So right here, if I count, it would just be n, m, I, and j. That's only 4 variables. So the space is constant. And yeah, this would be like the simple version of it. And yeah, since I already submitted, everything's fine. All right. So yeah, that's it for the video. I'll try to create more or post more daily again. Hopefully I'm not lazy enough or anything, but yeah, thanks for watching.